There is some big news coming out of Washington, D.C. this week. The U.S. Congress saw a new bill hit the floor, and it's a bold one. It's a proposal to completely block Chinese nationals from studying in the United States. It isn't just a tweak to the immigration policy, it's a full on attempt to shut the door on hundreds of thousands of international students. So is it about national security, politics, or something else? Let's talk about it. 大家好，我是 Suran 在中国. Hey everyone, it's Suran in China. How y'all doing today? I hope you're having a lovely day. I'm having a great day as usual, and it's getting better all the time thanks to my great viewers. So many of you have chosen to help support the channel, and I truly appreciate it. 谢谢你们. Thank you all so much. It's incredibly easy to do. It's absolutely free to hit that subscribe button below, and if you like the content that I'm making, throw a guy a thumbs up. What this does is it helps the YouTube algorithm to find my videos and to share them with more people. And hey, if you wanted to buy a guy a cup of coffee, there are some links above and some down in the description below that could help you to do that. Or you could become a channel member, which not only is a great way to support the channel, but it also gives you access to my videos before they're released on the regular schedule. Something to think about, but it's completely up to you. First things first, what's this bill all about? According to the South China Morning Post, this legislation comes from Republican lawmakers in the House of Representatives. No surprise there. The guy leading the charge is Representative Riley Moore from West Virginia. His argument? Well, he's worried that Chinese students coming to the U.S. might be more than just students. Moore believes that far too many Chinese students are acting as intelligence gatherers or paid spies for China's Communist Party. An incredibly heavy accusation. But it's not just him. Other Republicans are backing this and saying it's time to tighten security. Now here's the kicker. This bill does not mess around. It's not targeting specific fields like tech or science, where espionage might be a bigger concern. It's a blanket ban. All Chinese nationals, no matter what they're studying, from engineering to ballet to art history. If this passes, it'd be a huge shift in education in America. Last year alone, over 289,000 Chinese students were enrolled in U.S. colleges and universities, according to the Institute of International Education. That's a massive chunk of the international student population, about a third actually. So we're talking about potentially turning away hundreds of thousands of people a year. Crazy, right? But not everyone's on board. So while Republicans are pushing this incredibly hard, Democrats are hitting the brakes. Some of them are calling this bill way too broad, and honestly, it really is. One critic from the Democratic side said, and I quote, "Security must be achieved with a scalpel, not a bludgeon." In other words, they're saying, hey, if there is a spying problem, fine. Target the actual risks, not every single Chinese student. And honestly, that makes sense when you think about it. Not every 19-year-old coming to study sociology is a secret agent. It's just that, even just saying that sounds insane. But the article also hinted at a bigger divide. Democrats worry that this could tank U.S.-China relations even further. And to be real, things are already really tense as it is with DJ Tariff and his trade wars, the tech battles are going on, and other international incidents which are putting the U.S. in a negative light around the globe. Plus, there's the economic angle within America. International students, including those from China, pump billions into the US economy, about 40 billion per year according to some estimates. And we're not talking just in tuition. We're talking housing, food, shopping, entertainment, travel, you name it. Universities like NYU, USC, and others with big Chinese student populations could take a serious hit financially. So this isn't just about security, it's about money and diplomacy. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Why is this happening now? Well, it's the middle of March 2025, and we're in the thick of a new political season. Dumpster Don Trump is back in the White House, having won the 2024 election, allegedly. And his administration has been doubling down on a tough on China stance. Tariffs are up, tech restrictions are tighter, and now this visa bill fits right into that playbook. And it also ties into broader fears about espionage, especially after ridiculous incidents like the Chinese spy balloon back in 2023. Remember that? Well, apparently it's still fresh in a lot of US lawmakers' minds. But there's more. Riley Moore and his crew are pointing to cases where Chinese students allegedly stole intellectual property or worked for Beijing. Now, the article I read didn't list specific examples of that, but think about past headlines. Stuff like researchers at US labs getting busted for ties to China's military, things like that. It's rare, but I guess it happens. But it happens on both sides. Do you really think the USA does not have a network of spies around the globe as well? Come on. On the flip side, critics say those cases are outliers, not the norm. And already America is losing some students to its own policies. With funding cuts, visa hassles, and the fear growing of anti Chinese sentiment in America, Chinese universities are swooping in to grab Chinese talent and bring those brilliant young students home. So let's play what if for a minute. Say this bill passes, which is, in my honest opinion, very unlikely at this point, since it would need Senate approval, and even though the Republicans do have the Senate, there are still enough Biden-era Democrats that have some sway there. But let's just imagine. First, US campuses would look way different. Chinese students are the biggest international group. Lose them, and you're reshaping higher education overnight. Smaller colleges might even struggle to stay afloat without that tuition revenue. International students in general pay double, triple, or even more in tuition than local students do. Second, China's not just going to sit there. They could retaliate and likely would retaliate. Maybe slap visa bans on American students or tighten up rules for US businesses in China in general. Tit for tat type of stuff. But then there's also the human side. Imagine being a Chinese student right now and seeing this news. Maybe you've got a US college acceptance letter in hand, and suddenly the door's closed. Even though this bill's got a low prospect of passing as is, even the idea of it is going to make students nervous. Some are already looking at Canada, the UK, or Australia instead. And honestly, can you blame them? Oh, and one more twist. This could boost China's own universities. If they are retaining brilliant Chinese talent that the US is turning away, then who wins the brain race in the long term? Food for thought. So where do we land? This bill is a lightning rod. Republicans say it's about protecting America, stopping spies, securing tech, whereas Democrats call it xenophobic and reckless. A sledgehammer when a scalpel would do. Myself, I think it is a ridiculous example of political posturing and nothing more. Espionage is a legitimate issue. That's true. Every country has spies. Let's not kid ourselves. But painting every Chinese student as a threat is an enormous stretch. Plus, the US has always prided itself on being a global education hub. Shutting that down could backfire in ways that nobody could imagine. What about other international students from around the globe seeing this and fearing that it might happen to them as well? Would they still want to go to America for university? Something to think about anyway. So, what's your take? Should the US ban Chinese student visas altogether, or is that simply going too far? As always, I'm very interested in your input, and I'd love for you to let me know what you think down in the comments below. I do read all my comments and get back to as many as I can. But for now, I'm going to stop the video here, something to think about, and we will see you in the next video. 再见。